welcoming people into our homes as opposed to trapping us inside and trapping COVID-19 out. Those were fun times, but if you're anything like me and you're feeling a little stressed, feeling a little tensed, just not having a great time with this whole staying in thing, there's actually something you can do to help alleviate some of that and have kind of a, may I dare say, heavenly experience. For those of you who have been here will understand that. Otherwise, hi, this is going to be our pro tip of the day. My name is Tiffany Schluter. I am a trainer here at Wimberley Fitness Company in Wimberley, and I am here today to show you some stretching that you can do utilizing our handy doorway here. It is suggested that if you are to do any of these, please be careful. One, always smart. Two, make sure it's a doorway that if it has more of a little ledge, something for you to grip on that can be beneficial, that can help. Otherwise, any doorway should work. Mine currently doesn't have the actual door connected to it to make it a little bit easier to show you some of the things, but make sure that you're working opposite of the way that the door swings if you are doing these at home. So we're going to start up towards the top of the body, work our way down. We've got quite a few to show you today, and hopefully you can use some of these yourself. To begin, one of the things that all of us happen to have is tension in our upper backs, in our shoulders, in our necks. We all kind of hold it there. Life today is always drawing us forward and rounded, so this is going to be something that'll help strengthen the shoulders, open up the chest, and get a good stretch through the front of the body. So this is going to include using your door frame. You'll actually stand almost directly underneath it. You will have, if you're tall enough, you can hold on to the top of the frame. I have to go on my tippy toes in order to do so. You might need to do the same, or you can go slightly wider. That's perfectly fine. Doing so, be careful that you're not shrugging your shoulders up and just creating more tension and stress there. So we want to keep a lot of space in between your ears and your neck and your shoulders. So holding up tall, you're going to take baby steps forward until you feel a good stretch up through the front of the chest and the shoulders. Again, if you're at the top, it's just a slight walking forward, nothing too crazy. One way to actually make this a little bit safer if you do have any shoulder issues is to come at a 90-degree angle. This door frame is really tiny compared to some of the ones I've done. You might be out a little bit wider, but in this case, I'll show you from the back real fast. My arms are like so. You want to have your elbows kind of locked in, doing kind of goalpost kind of movement. And you're going again, just baby step forward, keep the head lifted, chest lifted. And all you're doing is feeling the stretch through the front of the chest again. You want to make sure to engage the shoulders onto your back. So I'm bringing my shoulder blades in and together. And again, I'll show you from behind. Looks a little something like this. And that can feel really nice through the chest. As the same with that, as the arms go down the door frame, you're kind of working the stretch down the chest as well. So if you were to say go at the very bottom, you would keep arms nice and straight for this one, making sure to lock out onto the frame, keeping chest lifted, walking forward as you stretch up and out. Again, engaging the shoulders on the back, keeping them away from your ears. This can also be really nice for the neck in general if you are actually pressing down and slightly turning the body away from one arm only. So if I have my right arm against the door frame, I'm going to turn and take chin down to shoulder. And you can even do a little assistance. If you're going to tilt the head, you can do assisted stretch too. So locking out the arm here, holding, making sure that shoulder's sliding down, away from the body, away from the head as you stretch the top of the head slightly over. Be nice and gentle here. You don't want to overexert yourself and hurt yourself. Same can be done on the other side. Moving our way down some more, we've got, this is one of my personal favorites. It's gonna be a little hard in this tiny doorway, but if you happen to be in a tiny doorway as well, you can always just angle off at a side. You do, on this case, want to be able to have that grip. So in this case, I have a nice frame here that I'm gonna hold on to. What you're gonna do is you're going to shift your hips back, feet will be hip distance apart, and allow your shoulders to stretch forward, and I'm rounding through the back, allowing the weight of my body to actually assist in this stretch. So it's allowing for the upper back, mid back to stretch out, staying heavy in the hips. Again, I'm not shrugging my shoulders towards my ears, but I'm allowing them at least to ride forward to get a good stretch all the way through the thoracic spine. And then you can slowly round up to finish that one out. That one, it feels very good too. By the way, all of these you want to hold for 10, 15, 30 seconds. Anywhere in those can be all right. And maybe repeat them 1 or 2 or hell, even 3 times if you want, for all these stretches. So, oh, and please make sure that you warm up beforehand. So if it's a little bit of walking, jogging, just warming up so you're not just cold stretching, because sometimes that can lead to injury. Another personal favorite of mine for the shoulders and chest. Opening up, this one is you'll go up to the door frame. I'm going to show you from the side first so you can actually see what my arm is doing. But you want to, again, lock out the elbow so that it's actually onto the door frame, and you want to make sure that you're directly in line with it too. So I'm directly perpendicular to it, like so. So that's what it looks like from the side that you can't see of me. So my arm's going to be there. I'm going to be directly perpendicular with it. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're just going to slightly turn your torso away from the arm that is up in the single arm goalpost mode. So keeping the shoulder down, again, I don't want to be hunching my shoulders up towards my ears. I'll just create more tension and stress in your shoulders. So you want to ride them down, keep a nice long, tall neck, and you're going to just turn the torso slightly away until you feel that stretch. This one really opens up everything here. It can feel quite amazing. If you are feeling any kind of tension or pinching, you definitely don't want to feel that. So you can maybe take the arm a little bit lower if you're feeling anything like that at that point. Same thing here, repeat on the other side. Arm nice in line with your body, locking out that elbow, making sure it's not moving anywhere. So you want to have it right up against the door jamb, and then turning slowly away. This one can also be increased ever so slightly just by, again, dropping your chin towards your opposite elbow, towards your opposite shoulder. Apparently isolation is making me a little crazy too. Excuse it. Anyways, like so. So moving on, we have got a really good stretch for the side of your body, as well as even all the way down to your IT band. So this one is going to be a little side stretch maneuver, or banana stretch, or I don't know, it has lots of names. But what you're going to do is you'll take both your hands, thumbs pointing inward. You're going to grab the door frame right above your head with your top arm, keeping it still in front of your body. That's kind of important, so make sure you know that. Again, shoulders are down and relaxed. You're going to walk your body out away from the grip that you have, and you're going to arch the body ever so slightly. So taking your time on this one, you don't want to just like fall into it, but it gets a good stretch all the way from the top of the arm down through the side. I will switch directions so you can see as well. So again, my hands are together like so, or facing each other like so. I'm going to hold on to that frame, and then I'm going to arch my body back. I'm making sure not to be inside my arm. My arm always wants to be slightly in front of me and above my head. And again, just stretching your hips out, getting a good stretch. You'll feel it all the way down along the side of the body. If you want to feel it even more so, all the way down, like I was saying, the IT band, you can also cross the legs. So cross your left leg over if you're grabbing with the left hand on top, and then stretching over, and that will deepen it all the way down. That's a really, really nice one. It feels yummy. Let's see, let's move on. So let's say your quads. Most of you know the just standard standing quad stretch. Well, this one's just a variation of that. You're actually using the door frame to actually hold your leg for you. So you would take your foot, place it up on top of the door frame, use the opposite side of the frame to stay up nice and tall. With this one, it's kind of surprising how much this really is involved more in what your hips are doing and less in what your leg is doing. So keep in mind that if I'm arching my lower back a ton, I'm not really getting much of that stretch that I need through that front of the thigh. So what you want to do is you want to posterior tilt your hips ever so slightly. We do this by squeezing your glutes. That should drive it forward slightly, and then drawing your abs in, and that should take you upright a little bit more. All this facilitates your hip kind of being in more of a place where you'll feel that stretch quite a bit more through the front of the quad. That one's really nice as well. Let's see, moving on. Let's say to the hamstrings. This one's done on the floor. I'm going to do it for the sake of the video facing this way, but typically you would do it facing in towards the door. Oh, I don't know actually if I can do this because it is a small doorway. Just kidding. I might do it that way. We'll see. But what you do is you're going to get as close as you can to the door frame, and this will be based on what your comfort level is. Doobie is going to be my pillow, I guess. You're going to lay flat on your back, and you're going to take your heel up the door frame. Oh, sorry, Tips, thanks. With foot flexed. And this will be a stretch all the way through the back of your leg here, your hamstring. If you can't get this close to the door frame, that's perfectly fine. You can just scooch back a little bit. And again, this would typically be doing with my free straight leg going in towards the door. So, but for the sake of the video, I'm laying this way. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So normally you would be doing it this way. Again, if you're feeling the stretch already right here, that's perfectly fine. You can be a foot or 2 feet away from the actual wall or door frame. That's perfectly fine. But as you get more flexible, just try and scooch the booty a little bit closer and dropping your opposite leg to be straight. And you'll feel this all the way through the back of the leg. The more you flex the foot, you'll even feel it possibly up through your calf. And just learning to relax in this position the best you can. This is very, very nice for the back of the leg. Yay! All right. So while we're here on the floor, which this one can be done with a pillow, particularly for your knee to help protect it. But this one, similarly to the quad stretch, you're going to have your foot up supported by the frame. And then you're going to take your opposite leg and bring it up where your knee is perpendicular with your ankle to the floor. From here, you're going to take your opposite arm, so the knee that's down, you're going to take that arm, so in my case, the right. I'm going to hold on to the top and I'm going to reach over. So this is stretching again all the way along the side of the body, all the way down through the hip flexor. I'm going to switch sides so you can get another view of it. And hopefully not hurt myself in the process. So again, my foot is up and is supported. Without shoes is a little uncomfortable. I'm bringing my right leg up into a 90-degree bend from the knee. Kind of the same way that we were doing the stretch, the quad stretch standing. You really want to focus a lot of this too and be aware of what your hips are doing. So I'm keeping my abs drawn in. I'm staying nice and tight through the core, as well as, excuse me, my dog's got a toy, as well as squeezing the glutes to help drive the hips forward slightly. Then I'm going to take the same side arm as the leg that is down, reaching up, grabbing with my opposing arm, and doing a slight stretch to the side. Trying to stay upright. My arms are staying slightly in front of my face. And if that's too much, you can always just hold on to the door frame and stretch up, or you can just reach up. That works as well. The more you lean forward on this one, the more of a stretch you'll get through the front of the thigh too, if you're just focusing on that alone. Keep that in mind. And then to release, gently bring the foot down. Woo. And good. So a good countering of that is, speaking of, will be your calf. So calf stretches, there's a couple you can do using the door jamb. One of the more common ones is just taking your foot, placing it high up onto the frame, heel down on the floor. You want to keep that leg straight as possible, and then you're just going to drive your hips forward. So I'm not arching my lower back to get there. I'm just putting my weight forward ever so slightly. This is going to give you a nice, good stretch all the way through the back of the calf. If you would like to go a little bit deeper here, you can always hold onto the frame and sit the hips back, which again, my doorway's rather tiny, so I'm going to go at a slight angle here. But you're going to put your hips back, holding on here, and then keep that toe pulling up. If you want to go even deeper, you can always reach for the toe as well. Trying to keep your hips level and flat here so you're not moving them or shifting them either which way. So again, you can either lean forward and pull up the toe a little bit, or you can just sit back all on its own. Make sure you're not just rocking forward by bending your knee. So keep that straight leg very, very straight for the leg with the calf that you're working. And then coming back up. So okay, calves. Let's see what else we got. We have got, forgetting something. Oh, figure four. All right, so the figure four stretch is also a really nice one. This one's also going to require that you have a door frame that you can kind of grab. So with this one, you're going to basically make a figure four with your legs, meaning crossing your, in my case, the right ankle over the left knee, and makes the number 4. After doing that, you're going to hold on to the door jamb, and you're going to, I'll do it from this angle a little bit, sit your hips level and back. So wide and back, I'm going with my hips. I'm keeping my top foot flexed. That's going to help protect your knee. Making sure, again, I'm not just bending from my knee here. So I'm not shifting forward at all. I'm allowing my hips to drive back and sitting nice and deep, using the door frame to hold on while I sit nice and low. You'll feel this all the way throughout the leg, through the glute even. If you do have a big enough door frame, you can always just do it directly in the door frame. And that way, if you happen to lose your grip, which I hope you don't, you'll just go back just a couple inches and hit the other side of the door. So again, standing nice and close, top leg goes on. Go ahead and sit the hips back. And again, ignore the fact that I have a really tiny door frame. All right, That's a good one. Let's see what else we got for you. The very next one that we have is called the Iron Cross. This is going to be a twisting stretch. So as with any twisting stretch, you want to be a little careful to keep the spine nice and elongated. Ain't that right, Doobie? Nice and elongated through your spine. This one is a rotational stretch. So as with any rotation that we do, especially from the back, you want to make sure that you keep your core nice and engaged to help protect your back. So with this one, you'll have one leg lifted, and then holding onto the door jamb, you're just going to slowly twist the body. So I'm using my front hand, in this case my left hand, to help twist my hips, taking my leg just slightly more back towards the door. And this is going to help rotate from hopefully the thoracic spine a little bit more so than your lower back. You don't want this to be just thrown into your lower back. So stay lifted and tall, my core is tight. You can use your opposing arm to help push in the opposite direction. So I'm using my back arm to help twist my chest around while using my bottom arm to guide my leg gently in the opposite direction. So it's a wringing out, so to speak, of your spine. Again, staying really tall on this one. If you're having trouble bouncing, you can always place your foot onto the door jamb, which in your case might be a little bit further away than my tiny door. But again, shoulder doesn't want to be super tense up by your ears, so make sure you keep it down. Turning the head the way that you're looking will help elongate the movement all the way through the spine. And then releasing. And you can do the other side. So what this looks like again here is I'm going to have my opposite arm from my leg that is lifted, pressing in towards the door. My back arm is going to be back behind, pressing forward, and it's creating a opposing twist here, and then releasing. So let's see. I think that's going to conclude what I can remember right now, but that should be plenty for getting you started, to feeling better, to just relieving some stress during these crazy times. We have lots of things that we can all be doing together. Let's take this time to stretch and feel wonderful as being one of them. Use these doors for something good again. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments down below. Or if you want to even stop by the gym when we open back up here soon, we would love to see you and go over these in person. So we hope to see all of you soon. Stay healthy, stay well, and we will see you next time.